Hello, it's Jesse with ZBH Tech, and I am back with you today with a 1-year update on a product that I reviewed, and I've had it installed, which is the TP-Link Deco X50-Outdoor. And I've had this installed for about a year, and I've had it outside at my property, and I just want to give you my thoughts 1 year later. I will I will put in the description a link to the original review video I did, and also with a link where you can purchase the X50 Outdoor if this is going to fit your needs. So if you like this content, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. That really helps me, helps my videos get out there to a wider audience. So let's get to it. Alrighty, so I just wanted to start by going over a few of the features of the X50. So first of all, this is part of the Deco series of products, and so TP-Link has their home mesh network products, and they have a few that are just TP-Link branded, then they have a few that are also what are called Deco units, and then you can mix and match these Deco units together and get all the benefits of having this mesh network. Now, I have hardwired all of my Deco units with an Ethernet backhaul, meaning they're all connected to Ethernet. I just find that things work best with all access points if they have a hardwired Ethernet connection. So that's my setup. I believe I have 8 units now all set up, including my 2 that are outdoors. The Deco units are nice because it's a single pane of glass management, which means you can manage all of these access points, including the one that you designate as your router, in one app, in one place. And so you can see which ones are connected. If they're disconnected, you get alerts. If there's problems, you can see how many devices are connected to each access point, what the devices' names are, the upload and download speed of each device, in real time. And then you can also run all your updates, and you can reboot them all with one click, or you can reboot individual units. So I like that Deco ecosystem. I know the Amazon Arrows kind of have a similar benefit with their management. I think these are kind of on par with each other as far as functionality and as far as features. So I've picked a Deco. I've had good luck with TP-Link devices. So first of all, this is an AX3000 dual band Wi-Fi system, so you can get speeds up to 3000 megabits per second, 574 on 2.4 gig, and that 3000 was obviously on the 5 gigahertz range. Now, of course, keep in mind that the further away you get from the access point, the slower the speeds will be. So those are like best case scenario speeds. You're probably not going to get that, but most people's internet connections are well below those speeds. And so unless you're doing a lot of like within your LAN data transfers, you probably should use Ethernet anyway for those. But most likely these units will totally cover you as far as what your internet connection is capable of doing. There's multiple mounting options with the X50. You can just set it on a tabletop, you can mount it on a wall, and you can also mount it on a pole. It comes with the hardware to do that. They work outside. I believe they are, I'm trying to remember, they're certified waterproof and dustproof. I wouldn't go submerging them in water, but I haven't had any problems at all with the waterproofing or the dustproofing, with that at all. So they're also PoE capable. They do come with a power cord, so you could just plug them right into the wall. Or if you have a PoE injector or a PoE switch, you can plug those right in, and then you can run your Ethernet. You have your data connection and your power all in one cable. So that's a nice benefit. There are 2 Ethernet cables. They're full gig on each of those. And like I said before, they are compatible with the whole Deco ecosystem. So let's get to it. My first category is longevity. How have they been? Have I had any problems mounting or physically with the hardware? And I've had zero trouble at all. I've installed those and I haven't had to touch them again. They've been really good, like I said before, the waterproofing, the dustproofing, no issues at all. So I give it a thumbs up there. Second one is management. And I touched briefly already about some of the features of the Deco app. And I've had no issues there. It's really nice to just open the app on my phone. I can see all my decos. I can see what they're doing. I can see if they're online, see if they're overutilized, underutilized, all those types of things. I can see how many devices are connected into each one. Now, one thing I did learn is that the main unit is going to always show a lot more connected to it. A lot of that is because anything that's hardwire Ethernet, it's going to show that it's connected to the main unit. So just keep that in mind, that you may see, if you have 50 devices, you may see 30 of them connected to the main unit. A lot of those are probably because they're the Ethernet connections, and there's a little symbol that shows whether it's a wireless connection or an Ethernet connection. That can kind of help you decipher those. The next section is reliability. How's it been as far as just reliable connections? And it's been really good. I've had no problems. I spend a lot of time out in my yard. I have a really big yard. I have 1 acre just in my yard, and I've had no issues at all there. So I'm probably a good 300 plus feet out at my longest distance. No troubles at all. It switches, it roams between Deco units, so as I move around my yard, I don't really notice any lag or any disconnections. It just kind of changes from one to the next, or it roams between the units. And that's one of the benefits of the Deco unit. It allows you to use the same SSID, and it roams between 2.4 or 5 gigahertz between units or access points. No trouble at all. And so speeds, that's the next category. So let's say performance. I haven't had any troubles whatsoever. Now, keep in mind, the further away you get, like I said before, the slower the speeds will go, and it will eventually switch from 5 gigahertz down to 2.4. 2.4 is a lot smaller in height in the bandwidth, and so what that translates to is it travels further, but you get slower speeds. So it will switch to 2.4, and it will lower the speeds as you get further and further away. But again, I haven't had any troubles. Most of the time when I'm out in the yard, I just want the ability to stream or to browse the internet or things like that, and there's been no trouble at all. I can sustain my 300 megabit internet connection. No trouble at all. It's been really well, or really good, I guess is maybe a better way of saying that. Issues. I do have one big complaint with these Deco units, and it's really quite minor, but it is annoying, which is when you look at these units, on the very bottom is where everything plugs in, and so you have to undo 3 screws, and you pull off the bottom, and that pulls out a rubber gasket and exposes the ports and also the power plug. You have to be really careful when you put that back in that you get all those rubber grommets and rubber seals all back in the right way. And they're kind of, they have a tendency to kind of want to come out on you and pull away. So if you're going to be into that and messing with it a lot, you'll want to just really be careful as you take it apart and you put it back together, that you're making sure that they're seated properly to maintain the waterproof and the dustproof functionality of the access point. So that's one complaint. I wish they would have designed it a little different so that it was easier to pull apart and put back together without having those rubber pieces come out. I do realize that waterproofing is usually not the most convenient thing to mess with because they're really concerned about how good the seal is. But that is one complaint I have, is just be aware as you're setting these up or you're changing things that you will have to mess with those rubber parts, and be aware of that. So other than that, I've really had no trouble. I do have a TP-Link PoE switch that runs these, and they've been rock solid. I occasionally will do a whole system reboot, which really is just one click. If you have all decos, you can hit reboot all, and they all reboot, which is nice. And I do that just as a preventative maintenance type of function, maybe once every couple of weeks, every 3 weeks. I like to reboot my router and all my access points, and I can do that with one click since everything I have is Deco. So I do have one other access point that's a different brand, and I'm going to do a follow-up video on that one. I've already reviewed that in another video, but we'll save that for another time. So just to wrap things up, I've really had no complaints, no performance issues, no physical issues. The management is good. For my home use, I have 110 devices on my home network. That counts all my IoT devices, my network devices, phones, computers, cameras, security, all of that together is about 110. I've had no trouble at all. So I have several kids, and they all like to use the internet, and I haven't really experienced any problems with lag or buffering. Everything seems to keep up really good. So I give it definitely a 2 thumbs up a year later on these devices. And yeah, that's it. So if you found this video helpful, again, if you'd like and subscribe, that would be awesome. So until next time, see you later and have a good one.